Welcome everyone back to weekly weather updates, and in today's video we're going to look at the latest on the big thunderstorms and heavy rain that we have for many southern areas at the moment that will be extending northwards through the weekend, with much of England and Wales seeing some torrential rain and perhaps some more significant thunderstorms, because the cut-off low that's giving the thundery weather in the south at the moment is going to be heading northwards. It's going to eventually clear away, but before it does, it could give some torrential rain, as I said, through Saturday into Sunday. Now have a look at the latest weather warnings, which do still have yellow rain warnings issued, but they're not extending into Saturday night and Sunday yet, which I'm a bit surprised by, but I am assuming those will be updated in the morning. We'll look at the latest UKV and the Arone runs, which are exceptionally lively this evening for Saturday afternoon and evening especially. And then we'll finish up by having a look at the longer range, as we have had a lot of hot and humid air around this week. Temperatures, as we'll see in a minute, got up to the high 20s in places further north today. That's all going to be going away, as we do see a much fresher northwesterly wind, but unfortunately it will be remaining unsettled for all. So do remember, if you enjoy my videos, which do like and subscribe, and remember to follow me on Twitter as well, the link's in the description. Now if you start on the live radar, you can see where we've had all the rain throughout today and the past few days in general across central southern England, especially down into the southwest. Now, we did see some persistent rain early on today. Wasn't quite as widespread as some of the models were making out to be, which is a good positive thing considering we saw lots of heavy rain through Wednesday and Thursday. You can see that persistent rain is heading off the southwest. But on the northern and eastern edge, we have seen some quite severe thunderstorms triggering this evening all the way through South Wales towards southern England, pretty much along that M4 line. And you can still see they are rumbling on at the moment. The most severe storms are actually now out to sea, still some around Swansea and Cardiff, though a few more further eastwards towards Oxford in England. Again, these will continue to be fairly lively through this evening, and they should slowly fade away beyond midnight. Now, I'm recording this around 9:30. You can see really it's only this activity in the southwest for precipitation, and we do put on the temperatures. You can see where the warmth has been today. It's been north of those thunderstorms for much of the Midlands, Northern England, Scotland, Republic of Ireland and Northern Ireland. Very hot and humid today. Temperatures, as I said, widely into the mid to high 20s, as this very strong easterly wind has brought in some very hot air for the time of year. Unfortunately though, it is subsiding now and temperatures will be dropping away over the next few days. It will probably still stay humid through the weekend, as that air is still there. It's just losing its intensity, and we'll see more cloud and rain around, which will mean generally the surface temperatures will slowly cool down. Now if you go over to net weather, we see the top temperatures today widely mid to high 20s, but if you look at a lot of these weather stations, they're further northwards, not really seeing much towards the south. Again, we've had a very strong temperature contrast. So for some in London, it's been really muggy but cloudy and not particularly great. Temperatures around the high teens, touching 20 degrees. Still feeling, as I said, muggy and humid, but just not seeing those actual temperatures. And you go maybe 50 miles north of London, and you're seeing 26, 27 degrees. So a very strong temperature gradient today. And you can see here, top temperatures, 25 to 29 degrees. Again, Lakenheath Royal Air Force Base, we've seen that crop up quite a lot when we've looked at the top temperatures there the last couple of weeks. It does look like it has a little bit of a bias for being hot, but if we ignore that one, look at the rest, still 27, 28 degrees. And look at that, Blackpool, Crosby up towards the northwest, just shows you that that's where the top temperatures have been today. Now, if you look at the weather warnings, we have this one weather warning for rain issued at the moment, and it does head into tomorrow till 2 a.m. Now, it is for these thunderstorms that we have going on at the moment, and you can see it will continue to show a lot of activity, and it's covering 26 hours this morning, so all of Friday, just into a couple of the early hours of Saturday as well. It is subsiding, as said, through the morning, but I do suspect tomorrow we will see quite a significant update to these warnings with a more extensive yellow rain or thunderstorm warning issued, because as we'll see in a minute, there could be further heavy rain, not only for the areas already affected, but for areas further north as well, and it does look like really widespread and potentially very torrential as well. We won't go through this warning in any detail just because we have looked at these warnings in a lot of detail and they've not really changed all too much. Again, it's for thundery rain, a couple of inches of rain possible, and of course we're seeing it now, so there's no real point warning people in advance. The most significant conditions have happened or are going on right now and are slowly subsiding away. I do actually just want to go back to the live radar and put on those past 24-hour precipitation, and you'll be able to see where those significant areas of rain have been. As I said, it's such a big contrast here. That M4 line southwards seeing many inches of rain. If I should do update it to more tools now, many inches of rain here over the past few days, and seeing about an inch of rain throughout today. And you can see, look, just to the south of London, down towards Guildford, Aldershot, Basingstoke there, seeing an inch, maybe more of rain. Go towards central London, only a few millimetres of rain, and to the north of London, seeing absolutely nothing. So this is why we've had so much uncertainty with the forecast, because you can see significant torrential rain in places 20, 30 miles away, seeing absolutely nothing. It's going to be similar to that over the next day or so, and then, as I said, it could turn a lot more widespread through Saturday night. Now, if you go to the UKV now and have a look at all that precipitation and the temperatures in a lot of detail. Now, you can see as we head through this evening, those thunderstorms do eventually exit. They're quite a bit more active than the UKV is making out to be, but they should clear out into the North Sea, out to the Atlantic through the early hours of Saturday. Now, through much of Saturday, it's going to be turning cloudier as we do start to see more instability moving in. A few showers, but they don't look particularly heavy or severe. It's through the afternoon, late afternoon especially, into the evening, things do start to pep up. Initially across the southwest, where we've seen a lot of rain already. Again, would be very surprised to not see a warning issued for this. And then look at this heavy rain heading in from the southeast, not only intense on its arrival, but intensifying as it makes landfall. And look at that lot of oranges and darker reds through the early hours of Saturday. It looks horrific as this moves in, and this is because the cut-off low is moving northwards and it's going to be sat over the top of us, and you see it spiraling around through the early hours of Sunday, eventually slowly starting to clear, but gives a lot of torrential rain and potentially towards the centre of the low some slow moving severe thunderstorms through the afternoon before it eventually does slowly clear away through the early hours of Monday and completely clearing by Monday afternoon. A really quite severe system there. Again, could cause a lot of disruption. You can see it moves in, stalls, and then moves away again. Wherever it stalls, and wherever that occluded front, the significant, persistent, thundery rain stalls, that's where we'll see the highest totals. And again, we'll have to wait and see. Maybe that's the reason why the Met Office have held off on their warning, because they're waiting to see more runs to see where that stall is. But there definitely is going to be a yellow warning there. Wouldn't be surprised if it does land in similar spots we've seen rain recently. Could even see an amber warning, as we are likely to see another few inches of rain from this system. But you can see by Monday, it's cooler with northwesterly winds now pushing in, but it is drier. As we head into Tuesday, though, weather fronts arriving, and this is the classic northwesterly wind with much fresher conditions, but also a lot of heavy rain. You see a bit of a southern check and jet stream there, again, because of that colder air pushing in, so potentially some more heavy rain in the far south. You can see with the upper air temperatures, very warm, hot at the moment. Again, ridiculous air mass for the time of year, but it slowly degrades away over the next 24 to 36 hours, eventually clearing with that low through Sunday evening into Monday. And then look at that, much fresher conditions coming in for all by the middle of next week. If you look at the mean sea level pressure as well, you can see through Sunday, the cut-off low sat over the top of us, and that's where we could see, as I said, a lot of activity. And then if we also have a look at the mixed level cape, you can see that system moving in with very moderate to high levels of cape. Nothing completely out of the world like we can see in some summer thunderstorms, but widespread moderate to high cape. Again, lots of torrential rain and the risk of further thunderstorms, and then eventually clearing into Monday morning. Now, if you look at the max temperatures, you can see as we head into Saturday, there's the risk again of low to maybe mid-20s, but again, dependent on the cloud and sunshine amounts. Into Sunday, with all that heavy rain around, it will probably still feel muggy, but more likely mid to high teens, maybe 23 degrees where we see a bit more sunshine, where we see the rain clear. Into Monday, it turns a lot fresher, maybe 18, 19 in the far southeast, but most mid-teens or even low teens. And by Tuesday afternoon, a similar story, 16, 17 in the southeast, double digits just about in some northern areas. And by Wednesday, we are starting to turn a lot colder, 14, 15 at best, many areas struggling into the double digits, and some even staying in the mid to high single digits, so much more autumnal, complete contrast to what we're seeing at the moment. Now, do have a look at the Arome run just to finish off for the shorter range charts. I do want to have a look at what this is showing. You can see over the coming hours, those thunderstorms eventually clearing away. Pretty accurate here from the Arome. That's exactly what we're really seeing at the moment, with those thunderstorms eventually clearing away. And then you see not too much activity through much of Saturday. A few heavy showers across the south coast, but it's really through the evening, persistent rain into the southwest, and then some really torrential thunderstorms moving in for all through Sunday morning. Through the early hours, those darker reds appearing before slowly spiraling and clearing away through Sunday. We can't get to Sunday morning or afternoon here, so unfortunately we can't see if there's going to be further thunderstorms triggering through the afternoon in that sort of clear slot. We've still got a lot of instability, a bit of sunshine, but we've seen the persistent rain clear. We'll have to wait and see through for tomorrow's runs to see what happens with that, but there could be further activity in there. Now, to finish by running through the longer range charts, you can see that low heading up from the south at the moment, giving us our thundery weather through the weekend. As we head into the early part of next week, we see northwesterly winds unlocking, and it turns a lot colder and unsettled as we head into much of next week. Eventually, the wind direction shifts to more of a west to southwesterly, so it does turn a bit more milder, but really nothing too great. And then towards 384 hours, we do see actually high pressure extending back in with potentially warm and dry conditions once again. So that's a positive, but it is right in the extended range, so I wouldn't put too much confidence in it. You can see, though, the contrast. Look towards Greenland here. This is, at the moment, cold air is starting to establish itself, but look at 384 hours, the minus 20 or even minus 30 isotherm is starting to, or I think it's minus 20 to minus 25 isotherm there, starting to take off throughout the higher ground of Greenland. So you can see it is turning potentially a lot colder across the Arctic. And again, that could fuel the jet stream. Again, it's inevitable this time of year as we head towards winter, but it's just showing you the big changes that are going to be taking place over the next few weeks as we do descend towards, said winter. If you do look at the latest GM, again, broadly similar with that low kicking up from the south over the coming days, west to northwesterly winds, or even a direct northerly here into the middle of next week, before eventually we see more of a west to southwesterly tilt towards day 10, and it does turn a little bit warmer, but still staying unsettled. And then if we do compare to the ECM WF, again, that low heading up from the south at the moment, very strong northerly or northwesterly winds arriving, and then we do see a bit more of a build of pressure towards day 10, which actually looks very positive indeed. If we put on those upper air temperatures, it's looking decent. Temperatures potentially into the low to mid 20s with that sort of scenario. So actually, that doesn't look too bad at all. But again, it's extended range right towards the end of the run. So again, I wouldn't have too much confidence at this stage. If you look at the ensembles, you can see, if we do refresh these to get the complete run, it is turning much colder next week. For about 3 to 5 days, we're going to be around 5 to maybe 8 degrees below average before it does extend back towards average as we head towards the middle to the second half of the month. Precipitation is up and down. It's not massive, but it's not particularly low either. Again, it's one of those we'll have to wait and see. And then if we have a look at the latest ECMWF ensembles here, again, very similar, very unsettled at the moment. Lots of heavy rain. You can see those spikes there through Saturday evening into Sunday could be very active indeed. Temperatures dropping up to well below average to next week, but you can see the longer range is a bit drier, which could suggest high pressure could be making a little bit of more of a return. We'll have to wait and see, of course, for the detail of that, but that could be tentative positive signs for the final third of September. But I said we'll wait and see. For the time being, we've got to get through all these thunderstorms over the next couple of days. Make sure you stay tuned for tomorrow's video as we'll look at some of these models in a little bit more depth as we are close to the event, and hopefully we'll have those weather warnings finally issued. As I said, it could be an exceptionally lively evening. So anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you again for another video soon.